Good morning for some of you. Good afternoon for most of you, probably. All right. 8, 14, 30, 27, 30, 37. All right. People joining. Good morning. Hey, everybody. What's up? It's your good buddy Chase. Happy to be with you just for 5-10 minutes here. Excited to share a few things. Give a shout out where you all are coming in from. Marketing Manus, Cindy, what's up? Hamad, Creative Live, hey. Evan Carmichael's in the house. What's up, Evan? Nice to see your face. Let me know where you guys are coming in from. Sophia, nice to see you. Nobel, Tim, and 3 others. Instacoff, brah. Ben, Gerina, y'all are coming in from Brooklyn, NorCal, Argentina's in the house, Lake Charles, Sweden. Love it. All right, cool. Hey, a couple things. If you were paying attention to my feed last week, I made a really big push around how important creativity is right now, maybe now more than ever before. So in order to help people, we did 2 things. The first is at Creative Live, we started something called Book Club. And if you're not tuned in to that, this is basically a community gathering, not dissimilar to this right here, where we're going to talk about our creativity. We've got all kinds of cool, fun challenges. And I'm going to walk step by step through my book, Creative Calling, as a part of the Book Club. We're going to do this together. Right now, there's, I think, about 1,500 people signed up to do this. It's going to be live and interactive, and it's creativelive.com/book club. So it'd be awesome if somebody put that in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it if one of y'all would type creativelive.com/book club, all one word, lowercase. And it's 100% free. It's awesome if you have the book or have read it. If you don't, or have not, it's not required at all. It's still entirely free. So I would love for you to check that out. And I want to do a little reading from this right now that I think is powerful. I've highlighted a couple passages, and I want to know if this resonates with you. Thanks for all y'all putting that link down there. Sophia, Demente, the series project. Thanks for doing that. Who else did that? King Dog Dad in the house. Nice to see you, Natalie. Thanks so much for showing up. Golden Mike, chateau, tanaka. Nice to see you in the house. All right, so I want to read something. Speaking of the importance of creativity, listen to this little excerpt from my book, Creative Calling. Just as a reminder, again, we need creativity now more than ever. So I like those hearts and stuff. That make me feel good if you tap that heart button. Coming off the stage after a keynote speech at South by Southwest, the long-running conference and arts festival in Austin, Texas, I found 100 or so people waiting for the Q&A. First in line was a woman in her 40s who wanted to rekindle creativity in her life. She explained that she'd always been passionate about design, but ever since leaving college, she'd completely abandoned her dream of becoming a freelance designer. And that she had chosen a, quote, safe career that left her unfulfilled. She'd also given up all forms of creative expression. When I asked her what was keeping her from going for it, she burst into tears. Turns out the demands of work and family and just life left her with no time or energy for herself. She felt completely stuck because her family relied on the income that she brought in. If this sounds familiar to anybody, just keep listening. Without even realizing it, this woman had bought into a huge lie that so many of us accept. We internalize the idea that our calling is too risky, too impractical to even consider pursuing. That doing so would be selfish, deeply unwise, and yet deep down, we know we're selling ourselves out. So we carry this regret with us into each new phase of life. These faulty beliefs work their way into our bones as dogma, making it harder and harder to undo the damage as each year goes by. The only antidote for this woman and for you is to stop this madness right now. With love and empathy for yourself, gently summon the courage to make a change. My answer to her was simple. Just begin. Rekindle your creative craft for a few moments every day. Don't worry about the rest right now. Simply sit down and make something. Once you've rekindled your practice, you can decide if you want to take it further and earn money on the side or even change careers. Conversations with family and loved ones will be easier when they see the passion and love that you bring to your craft, whatever it might be. Hers is one of 1,000 real-life examples that inspired me to spread the message, whether through Chase Jarvis Live, the podcast, on social media, or now in this book, maybe even Creative Live, culminating in years of thought about the nature and importance of creativity in our lives. If you're in that woman's place too, let this book and the community of like-minded people and what we're going to talk about over the next 6 weeks coming up this Saturday at creativelive.com/book club. What we're going to talk about is, if you're in that woman's place too, let this book and this community of what we're going to talk about coming up here in book club, using the hashtag creative calling, let this inspire and embolden you to take the next step. When we say no to our creative impulses over and over again, they harden like a bottle of glue with the cap off. Thankfully, that hardened gunk can be softened again. The creativity inside of you is indestructible. The creativity inside of you is indestructible. So whether you've stopped or during the pandemic let your practice lax, or if you're like me, you've sort of retread a bunch of similar ground and you're a little bit stuck and blocked, now's a great time for us to lean on one another. And so I'm super excited, not only about this book club, creativelive.com/book club, but as also you hopefully heard last week, I negotiated with my publisher and a number of the top retailers like Amazon and Apple and, where else? B&N, Barnes & Noble, a bunch of places, that my Creative Calling book is $2.99. Many of you have said that it went off sale. It did. We caught that as a glitch. It's back on right now. $2.99 for the ebook and $14 for the hardback, which is, these are the lowest prices ever. So we did that in an attempt to make this more accessible during these hard financial times. And it's my hope that the book club will bring us together on the Creative Live platform. Yes, it'll be interactive. We'll have, I'll have some guests on. Just going to be probably 30 minutes every Saturday for 6 Saturdays. Super lightweight commitment, no obligation to attend even after you've signed up, but it's my hope to make a ton of value. And ultimately, what I would like us to do and what we'll do is we'll read a couple chapters of the book on your own time and then show up Saturday, talk through some of the things, because there's a system in this book that I've spent the last 10 years of my life refining and and deconstructing my successes and failures as a creator and the successes and failures of many of the world's top, Richard Branson, Tim Ferriss, Brene Brown, Arianna Huffington, Elle Luna, Marie Forleo, you name it. There's some patterns that emerge, and that's what we're going to talk about, how to manifest what it is that we want in the world and create the living and the life we want, rather than be a cork bobbing in the tide. So we need this now more than ever before. I want you to start using, well, of course, we've already had thousands and maybe tens of thousands of shares at the hashtag Creative Calling, but over the course of the next several weeks, we really want to accentuate that so that all of us creators out there don't feel so alone in this weird time. It's also a time, if you can, choose to see opportunity where you can make headway, not just in your business. This is not about productivity. This is about psychological, emotional progress towards the things that you want to be and do in life. So I want to encourage you to do that. Also, again, the book, any major retailer where books are sold, you can get it for super cheap. So I did want to take a few questions. We got Pakistan in the house, Ukraine, India, New York, Seattle. Nice to see you, Seattle. But I'm scrolling to the bottom here, and I'm hoping to answer a few questions. So I'm going to start off with Beth here. Beth says, will you talk about getting unstuck? Beth, that is almost entire time together, 30 minutes every Saturday, starting this Saturday. Again, it's free, creativelive.com/book club. And so, yes, we're going to talk a lot about getting unstuck, and we're going to use the IDEA framework, IDEA. Imagine what you want, design a plan to get there, execute that plan, and then amplify it through building community. So that's a good question. And thank you, Beth, for asking. Oh, Northamptonshire in the house, Marrakech in there. Thanks for telling us where you're coming in from. Mexico, London, Malaysia. Love you. Any other questions about the book club, about the community that we're going to create at that space, and that is going to be interactive? Certainly, again, it's helpful to have the book, but not at all required. I know it's a tough time that even at $2.99, you might not be able to afford it. So, Megan Renee Studios, will you talk about moving from 0 to 1 after being stuck or after life hits a reset? Yeah, absolutely. Getting unstuck to me may mean, for some of you, stuck meant you're stuck at a certain place in your career or in your trajectory as a creator. But it also might be you've completely need a reset. And this pandemic has created perhaps an opportunity to reassess and to restart a life, to leave a life that you didn't love and restart one that you do. So definitely, Megan, we're going to do that. So NASA asks, what if I haven't finished the book? Since she knows, since she's helping us design this program, it's not at all about finishing the book or wherever if you have read it before or not, has nothing to do with that. You're going to be able to pick up on day 1, minute 1, and just step right into the program. It's very inclusive. It's going to be fun and playful, and also, I believe, really therapeutic and helpful. Simple. Think dead simple. 30 minutes listening to yours truly talk about some of the details in Creative Calling, what we at Creative Live are doing. There's all kinds of free exercises and classes that we can point you towards at Creative Live as well. So, yeah. And the Art of Mazam wants to know, hey, Chase, I was wondering if I could come to my live stream photography talk show sometime. How'd I reach out to you? Not the kind of questions I'm answering right now, but yeah, I always try and participate in the community. Schedule's pretty busy right now, so unfortunately I'll have to punt on that for now. But if you show up at the book club, that's certainly a way to stay in my sphere, which will increase the chances that I can help you specifically with your show or podcast or whatever. Adrian_CXM asks, do you think as a creative, do we need to reset after leaving a job that you weren't called for? Absolutely, because when you're in a job that you weren't called to do, a little part of you dies, and you need to turn and put some attention on that part and remind it that everything in life is sculptable, that you can, that not just that you are able to, but it's required if you want to live the life that you want, to take action and to resuscitate that part of you, or decide that it wasn't serving you and leave it behind. But it's an active process. It's not passive. So that's a great question, Adrian. Click Mehul wants to know, would love to hear the story of making such a book. Hope we can have time on Saturday for that. I'm happy to talk about all of the struggles that I encountered in creating Creative Calling. It was a multi-year process. All of my best thinking is in here. Book blurbs from folks like Richard Branson and Brene Brown, Jimmy Chin, the director of Free Solo, Debbie Millman, legendary designer. I took inspiration, nourishment. Seth Godin, for example, read the book ahead of time. Tim Ferriss gave me feedback. So yeah, I'm happy to chat through that. Steve Saldivar, what's up, Steve? Has a question. How's this pandemic changed me as an artist? It's created a bunch of empathy and self-awareness that while we are all in this together, that the pandemic has affected all of us so differently. I think there's a projection in the media that we're all in this together, so that means our experience is all the same. But I'm in a position where I'm safe, and Creative Live is a remote, has a very strong remote culture. So we're able to operate and still make, 40 or something SKUs each month from, wherever we are. And that's not the case for so many. So many of my talented friends, chefs and, restaurateurs and culture makers and musicians, and have been so dramatically affected. So it's highlighted that so many things in our world are out of our control, and it's made me want to double down on the mindset point that what we can control is what goes on up here, and that's one of the reasons in particular why I took your question and why we're doing this book club. So again, if you're just joining, creativelive.com/book club, 30 minutes a day on 30 minutes every Saturday, starting this coming Saturday, completely free. You don't have to have the book. You don't have to, if you've read it, that's helpful, not required. We'll cover a lot of the material together. So, marketing.manus says the biggest issue with choosing your heroic calling is how many years before a breakthrough happens. That's true, but it also requires you understanding what a breakthrough means. Like sometimes going from 0 to 1, just realizing that you actually are in control, not just of creating your life, but of creating art on a small, regular, therapeutic, helpful basis. That breakthrough, you can get that breakthrough in a moment. And it's not about, I don't know if you guys missed my conversation with the legendary photographer Pete Souza, President Reagan and President Obama's photographer. We were on creativelive.com/TV this morning. There's so many breakthroughs. So it's how you define the breakthrough. It's not just some, quote, making it at the end of 10,000 of hours worth of work. There's small wins along the way, small setbacks too. But I just want to make sure this is part of what the pandemic has reminded me of, is that the concept of breaking through, of progress, is different for every person. And we all don't need to aspire to be a Pulitzer Prize winning photographer like Pete Souza, or a legendary entrepreneur like Richard Branson, or a brilliant, designer like Debbie Millman. What we have to define our own success, and that's part of what we're going to be doing together at the book club. So, The Art of Mazam, can't wait for Saturday. King Dog Dad, been a stressful time. I can imagine, my man. I know. 10 a.m. Pacific on Saturday. 10 a.m. Pacific. That's 1 p.m. New York, or 8 p.m. London time. And again, if you go to creativelive.com/book club, BOOKCLUB, one word, all that sign up will there, and you'll get an email reminder. Let's see, before I bounce, again, I really enjoyed reading a little passage. We are going to have some bits to cover in the book, but it's mostly going to be play and ways and strategies for uncovering our own creativity and how to put it to work at a time where we need it more than ever before. I'm on a man B-Tra about the book at launch. Awesome. The book club will be a great boost to start reading while learning with you. Thanks, King Dad. Better with joy. Looking forward to the book club. Mitch Fail. Thanks for the inspiration. You got it, bud. Appreciate it. All right. I'm going to sign off now, but I want to say thanks for listening. I want to give you the courage and the reminder that creativity is what's going to get us through this. Not just drawing and painting and popsicle sticks and pipe cleaners like we were taught in second grade, but creativity with a capital C, the ability to create your life. And it is, ironically, through creating photographs and stories and moments and cooking and all of those things that we reinforce this muscle, this creative muscle. But I wanted to get through to you all that creativity with a capital C is needed now more than ever. So check out the book club. Reminder, the book is on sale, $2.99, specifically in the U.S. and Canada right now. I know it's on sale at not quite that low a price in some other geographies, but bear with me. Machi, you're the man, Chase. Thank you so much. Beth, thanks a lot. See you Saturday. Sophia, thank you. Happy to be a part of this community, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all this coming Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific. Remember, I'm going to keep an eye out on the hashtag Creative Calling. So if you create anything between now and Saturday, let me know by applying that hashtag, and I'll keep a lookout for your posts, and I'll probably even comment. So until then, signing off. Looking forward to seeing you guys Saturday. Thanks for being a part of this.